wanted to show today was a quick workflow of quickly using openai to use Whisper to transcribe an audio file and then pass the transcribed audio file to the GPT-3 completion prompt to get a summarization of that audio file, which is pretty useful, especially for mathematical topics. And we'll see how accurate this thing is. I know its summarization is very good as a summarizer in terms of taking a bunch of text, removing like repeated information, and condensing. In that way, it's very good. I don't know how good it is at summarizing in terms of re-explaining or providing new information based on the text that it is receiving. So we'll see that. Also, I passed a video. I didn't pass an audio file. This is a MKV file, and it handled it no problem. It didn't even say a thing. I passed it a video format, and it handled it well. I'm not sure if it's transcribing the text, but pretty impressive just as a file handling feature. Alright, so to convert YouTube to MP3, it's ytmp3.new, and honestly, I've been using this website for a long time. I didn't think it was going to work because maybe 5 years ago, some time ago, they removed the download option from YouTube, but no, this still works. I remember using this like way back in the day for, just getting free music or whatnot. Now, data is unlimited, so I don't need to download videos anymore. But yeah, this still works. So you definitely go ahead and use this. Download the YouTube video, just post the URL in here. It'll download the MP3, and that's all you need. You can use this full video. It will transcribe video, but for YouTube videos, this is the easiest way to get audio to transcribe. Yeah, so there we go. That is to get the audio. Then you simply open up you CD into the wherever you download it to, and when you run Whisper, you just type Whisper, put the name of the video or the audio file, and it will output the transcription into the terminal and create 3 files for you. The SRT and the VTT, you can use those to add subtitles. It comes with some timestamps, and I think maybe VTT is like the super good one, and the SRT is maybe the old school one, something of that nature. And the text file is what you want if you want to do some text processing, because it's just straight text, no timestamps, no nothing. So that's what we did. All right, so first attempt, we got 1 sentence back. I put in this video from YouTube. It's not too long. It is a 371 word document, and we got back about 29 words. So that's not great. And it really just took the first sentence and shrunk it down for us a little bit. So in theory, it does work. In practice, you gotta do some tweaking. So let's see what else we can do here. Just before we start doing some more editing here, I was running DaVinci 002, and DaVinci 003 immediately is already head and shoulders above 002. This summarization explains how to take the partial derivative of a 2-variable function, noting that derivatives keep constants and the derivative of a constant is 0. It also explains how to notate the partial derivative with the use of a curly backwards d and or f sub x and f sub y. that is a real summarization. And that's what I was talking about earlier. This is actual taking the text, removing duplicates, and returning the it doesn't, this is a true summarization. It summarizes what the text is about. It's not really what I wanted, but it is a better summarization. Like how here it gave the function that was in the example and then returned the partial derivatives for both variables. That's not really a summarization. That would be better for notes, like if I wanted notes, which is an option that this has been trained to do. If I wanted notes, those would maybe be some things that I would put in the notes, but as a summarization, complete trash. This using DaVinci 003, great summarization. So that's already, that was probably the issue there. And I think DaVinci 003 is the best version of GPT3 right now. Check the models, and DaVinci 003 is the most capable GPT model. So for this text transcription, after upping the tokens from 64 to 400, we're getting a little better outputs, and here are some of the prompts that work pretty well. Asking for notes at 64. So even asking for notes when the token count is at 64, pretty good. We got some pretty good notes here. Upping the token, upping the max token response to 400, we get some even better notes, kind of weirdly formatted, but more detail, longer response. Asking it to summarize with the tokens at 400, we get a nice summary, a true summary, just an explanation of what the text is about. Asking for a TDLR, that stands for too long, didn't read. For 64 tokens, it's okay. 400 tokens, it's slightly better. This one is not that great. Asking it to explain at 64 tokens, very basic, not great. And the explaining at 400 tokens was not much better. So that's for this. I'm thinking that since there's only 371 words, it's possible that that's just not enough information. And this is a pretty simple concept. There's not much to summarize here. So let's try a harder concept. Okay, so for this example, we're going to transcribe a video on mathematical induction. I'm going with mathematical induction because it's not formula based, so it can't just look for a formula and then describe the formula. It's kind of a concept that's going to require some thinking of some kind. It's going to have to give some kind of explanation. So the process is go to YTMP3, copy in the link from the home page. Copy the link from the YouTube page, paste the link on the home page of YTMP3. It'll download it for you, take the download file, CD into the location where the download file is. I moved it to, goodness gracious. Man. Okay, I moved it to this math audio location, I think. Yeah, there we go. I should probably rename it. Yeah, so I'm going to rename it. I'll be right back. GitHub Whisper page, and we will check the chart. And let's use the large multilingual model. So we will, since we're here, we'll go, look how easy this is. Whisper, and this is a video by Trev Tutor. I want to make sure to mention him. He is a fantastic math video producer. He makes great math videos, good length, easy to go with. So here we go. That's it. Just type in the name, model, and then I went with the large model. This is a multilingual model, completely unnecessary. It requires 10 gigabytes of VRAM. I have about, let's just see what we're running at. Where are we going with this? We are not even, I don't know where it's not using anything. Maybe it's loading the model up it hasn't started yet. Right now, we are not using we don't even have Python running right now. Yeah. Alright, so it got the detected language English, and let's check NVIDIA SMI. Here we go. Okay, so we're on the GeForce 3060, and we're at just over 10 gigabytes. You know, that's just 10. That is about 10 gigabytes. Remember, it's 124, not 1,000, so it's going to always be a little more than what you think. And it's given the transcription. This is the VTT or SVT format with the timestamps, and it's gonna transcribe. We want to keep the OpenAI key, and we want to keep the prompt text key here. The prompt text file, because that is where I'm gonna copy and paste the transcribed text. I could add some functionality for you to select the text file, but this is just to show the capabilities of using OpenAI, using a couple different OpenAI models to do some cool things that may or may not be useful. So far, usefulness is not that great, but it is something that I didn't see anyone doing yet, so we will just document it and put it out there in the world. All right, 3 minutes in, so there we go. And let's do the full process so you can see it. So we go into the folder, and we have the SRT file, which again is for adding to videos for subtitle purposes. We have the VTT file, which is another format also for subtitle purposes. They look pretty much the same. There is supposed to be some kind of functionality difference. And here's the text file. So we're going to Control A, Control C, minimize that, exit out of there, go to the prompt text, and then just go, well, Control A, Control V. It's in there, and now we have this. I'm going to go back to the summarize .py file, which I have, and we'll go to sum stew, and we'll go sum stew 64, and we'll change the token output to 64. I don't know how many tokens I have. I don't have a card linked up to it. It said something like 0.00 something per token, so I should have enough tokens, not sure. And that should be it. That's it. I should just be able to hit run without debugging or Control F5, and here we go. Alright, so here's the summary. It cut off short, I think because the token's at 64, and we have a very short summary. We will keep trying the other prompts. So here it is. Mathematical induction is a tool used in a lot of proofs. It involves 3 steps: a base case, an inductive hypothesis, and a conclusion. The base case is the first thing that is true, while the inductive hypothesis is the assumption that something is true for any number less than or equal to some number k. To prove k plus 1 is true, you assume that k is true and work your way to the conclusion. To illustrate this, an example is given of the proof that 1 plus 2 all the way up to n is equal to n times n plus 1 divided by 2. That's not exactly what it said. 1 plus 2 plus ... plus n equals n times the quantity of n plus 1 divided by 2. Lastly, an example of a set theory proof is given. So that's a pretty good TLDR. That's a good summary, pure summary of what the text is about. I like that one. And then now let's get some notes. This has been the best prompt, I think, out of these 3. This has been the one that's given me the most, the nicest responses, the most usable response. Let's go ahead and run this without debugging, and let's see what we get. All right, examples of mathematical induction. Already that's kind of this isn't really an example of mathematical induction. And then it doesn't say what it's trying to prove here. So without even reading it, this one is not that great, but better than nothing. Base case, show that 1 is equal to 1 times 2 over 2. Inductive hypothesis, assume that n is equal to k and prove that k plus 1 is true. Conclusion, show that for any number n, 1 plus 2 plus all the way up to n is equal to n times n plus 1 over 2. Example, show that the complement of A1 union A2 all the way up to AN is equal to the complement of A1 intersect the complement of A2 intersect all the way up to the complement of AN. Okay, and what are my opinions? I think that just this one example is useful depending on what you need. I think that it does a good job, allegedly, with poor quality audio. So if you perhaps have a professor with a super strong accent, this is going to do more than just try and transcribe the sounds. It's going to try and guess the words that are being transcribed.
Which record is convenient and simple online tool. It can be used right in browser. It allows you to record your voice using a microphone.
Let's start with the default, just see how that does. Okay, so it's on. Our voice recorder is a convenient and simple online tool that can be used right in your browser. It allows you to record your voice using a microphone and save it as an MP3 file. It came back with every voice recorder is convenient and simple online tool. It can be used in the right browser that details you to record your voice using a microphone and save it as entry 35. So that's just not even close. That's worse than, I mean, like a basic, something 10 years ago would have done a better job than that, to be quite honest. Did I say, I should have said right.
Yeah, which recording is convenient and simple online tool. It can be used right in browser. It allows you to record your voice using a microphone and save it as an MP3 file.
Okay. So it allows you to use the right in. I think I'd said right in, but it really does sound like directly. I'm not even sure what I said.
Convenient and simple online tool. It can be used right in browser. It allows you to record your voice using a microphone and save it as an MP3 file.
Okay, so they got some things wrong here, and this is the best model that there is. This is the large model. Let's go back to whisper decoding and try the, not whisper decoding, that's the, let's try the medium.n. I suppose that's the biggest, just pure English model. So give it one more shot, medium.n. Alright, it's got to download the model. I guess that's what's happening here, not the audio file. Maybe it's downloading the model, which makes sense. Oh, wow, that's even worse. Okay, so that's worse. This is, so we're just going to have to conclude that with the strong accent, this is not much better than any available tools that are out right now. So to summarize, I think that the tools that OpenAI offer are impressive when curated and used in the perfect environment. There's already tools that are available that do the things that these tools are supposed to replace. Even summarization. The summarization it gives is not next level, and by any means. It is effective though. The tools are free, extremely easy to use, and the equivalents are expensive and not as easy to integrate with one another. Certainly not open source. So it being open source allows you to just put together a quick script exactly how you want it and run the models in a pipeline or whatever you want. So I cannot complain about OpenAI, but anyone saying that this is anything other than inputs and outputs is lying. Will this get better? No doubt. I bet next year it's going to be 10 times as good. They have an infinite number of not an infinite number, but there's probably a million people working and developing on this right now. And every day there's a new model that comes out. There's new papers. This will get better. And at some point there will be issues, but that's not today. Thank you very much.